So looking at the headlines today, stock market's historic day, concerns over immigrant social media screening, and then it says Michelle Obama spills the tea. Rumors about divorce. Okay. Stock markets, though. This is the thing I want. I don't really care about the he-she thing. Stock markets. Because that takes me back to, again, I'm still looking at that Revelation chapter 6. We know that the word is true, but man's word is suspect. So, stock market posts third biggest gain in post WW2 history on Trump's tariff about face. This article is by Yum Lee, and this was today at 4 something Eastern time. It says this: Wednesday's dropping stock market rally on President Donald Trump's surprising tariff reversal is one for the history book. So what happened today? I posted earlier of his secretary talking about China. So it's going to be the dragon that we're going to have a problem with. And back in the late 90s, early 2000s, George Soros said that, and it's on video, it's still up on YouTube, I believe. He said that he wanted China to be the #1 manufacturer in the world, and he wanted the United States to be a slave nation. Okay. So, how would that be? Now, if you look at China and think about all the things that they produce, right? And they still want to go after Taiwan. Taiwan is the maker of the chips. There's something about the sand that they use to make the chips. And if China takes Taiwan, that would mean they would control the manufacturing industry, because those chipsets go in everything. Now, the whole idea with Trump was to scare these manufacturers, and somebody corrected me earlier. He said, because I knew it was a Democrat that shipped all of our jobs overseas. That was the downfall of this country. And it was Bill Clinton. I said Obama, but someone said it was Bill Clinton. But I knew it was a Democrat. Well, they all play on the same team. Let's just be honest. But it's all a magic show. The S&P 500 skyrocketed 9.52% in knee-jerk reaction. That's just a reaction, folks, to him bringing tariffs down 10%. But except for China, if I'm not mistaken. He says he's announced to put a 90-day pause on some of the lofty reciprocal tariffs. The one-day gain ranks as the third biggest since World War II. And for the main stock market benchmark, according to, what is that? FactSet. Okay. You know, knee-jerk reaction. That's like you have a person that's a impulse shopper, impulse buyer. You're only buying it because you see it, but you really don't need it. Stuff ends up in the closet, in the basement, in the storage, in the garage, and it's collecting dust. So that means it was a waste. Now, the whole idea was for him to crash the market on purpose to bring Nike and iPhone and everything back to the United States. Now, don't get it twisted. That's a very good idea. Bring all the jobs back. I get that. But in the meantime, in between time, you could be starting war, because the Democrats, this country, Babylonian society, has allowed other countries to eat and moved our jobs over and really put a cut on our production. I mean, it sounds great, right? But what's the pitfall? It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be kind of tight. Because what he basically doing is pushing a reset button on the whole thing. And then there's talks about him running for a third term. Which would, again, we get back into that idolatry and people loving this dude and making him a king. Okay? He's in his late 70s. He's going to be pushing 80 soon. So the stock market has recovered. That's what they're saying. But it hasn't really recovered. That's just a knee-jerk reaction, as the article said. If you read between the lines, this thing was crashing. 401k was crashing. Everybody was panicking. Right? Just because an announcement was made, that alleviates the fear of everybody. Oh, well, maybe it's going to bounce back. Canada, they dropped the ball. They didn't continue on with their threat. The only country that we're going to have a problem with is the dragon, which is China. Okay, so now you see 500 points, third biggest one-day gain since WW2. Okay. The Dow Jones Industrial Average advances 2,962.86 points, or 7.87%. And this was the biggest advance since the slamdemic happened. This is how you get everybody on board. I want everybody to read between the lines. When you post these numbers and then you say, hey, it ain't been popping like this since 2020, right? All because something was said. Nothing was done. Okay, that's my whole point of this video. Nothing was done. Words. The Bible say that the tongue can cause wars. It can bless. It can curse. The tongue got to moving today. And what it showed me was the power of words. This man said, hey, we're going to pause. People stopped freaking out. And then all of a sudden people said, oh, maybe it's going to turn around. So what everybody did was just withdraw all their money. But we still are going to this XRP and Ripple thing, which I've done the number study, which shows Antichrist. And it shows the mark. So you're going to bring down what a lot of people are talking about, fiat money. Which, back in the day, we had a situation where the money was put on hold due to the Federal Reserve. So now we're back there again. So we're going to see how this plays out. It's a whole new reset. And let's see what happens, folks. Peace.